Happy Good Friday. The sound in the background is Holy Spirit clearing. This book is very moving towards me, or with me, or to me, or in me. I started yesterday the series, but I realized that I don't like editing myself, looking back, and working on my perfectionism, or working it out. As I stated yesterday, these will be 10 to 15 minutes long. And it's more of self-therapy, but as I speak through it myself, respond to it myself, I understand that it helps somebody else. Chapter 2, Loving Love and Hating Hate. We are a culture in love with love. We know that love feels good, that it comforts us in both good times and bad. It feels too exquisite and promises too much for us not to want it. And so we search for it, connive for it, and sometimes pursue it with an insatiable hunger. Some of us want love so badly that it becomes the cornerstone of our lives. It is, presumably, the only real reason for the major decision of our lives, the choice of a spouse. Research confirms that the importance of love. One, our modern interest in the power of love began with Freud, who was the first scientist to take love as a theme of serious concern and investigation. It was until the end of Freud's life that the real difficulty in achieving love became apparent to him. In his last treatise, Civilization and Its Discontents, Freud made an admission with much sadness and resignation that arose out of his having witnessed in his lifetime unparalleled forces of destruction. Our world war and the Nazi brutality as the harbinger of yet a second world war had taken their toll on Freud's earlier optimism. His final belief about man's future was that hate and rage and their destructive potential are as powerful a force as love and love's healing potential. Love and hate cannot be separated because they are both in us in equal measure. What love is and what hate isn't. Popular notions about love come not only from our experience of love, but from what we hear about love. We hear about it in songs, books, movies, and from our parents reminiscing about their blissful romance. The problem with all these popular notions is that love is idealized and is essential, and its essential ambivalence is ignored. In recollecting love, we all too easily leave out the frustrations, anger, hurt, and fear that are inevitable accompaniments to the good feelings. Our ability to forgive and forget is one of the skills that enables us to sustain and resilient love. But this ability is as well one of the greatest dangers of love. When we are in love or remembering love, we are inclined to deny hostile feelings that are present and that need to be acknowledged. Just as we maintain that love is pure and good, we hold on to just as ferociously the idea that hate is bad. But hate, like love, is just a feeling. It is, like love, an emotional lens through which we see the world and filter our experience. Hate is neither evil nor malignant, nor even necessarily dangerous, as we are wont to believe. It is only when hate is translated into destructive action that it becomes evil. Hate is a feeling. It's part of our human condition. It is part of the very fabric of our emotional makeup. It is absolutely inescapable, yet few of us have had any training or any experience in the constructive management of our feelings of hate. The ability to recognize hate, to feel it, as well as detect it, is an essential ingredient in the building of what I call a strong psychological immune system. This system of immunity, discussed later, is a valuable protector against both psychological and physical illnesses. Lessons in hating our hate. As in love, as we are with love so strongly, are we in hate with hate. Each of the emotions of hate, there are many, is considered a bad emotion. We are taught from an early age that hate is destructive and that the feeling of hate is to be avoided at all costs. We learn that it is an emotion that doesn't really have a place in our hearts if we want to be emotionally healthy or spiritually attuned. We have been led to believe that hate is the progenitor of evil, destruction, and devastation. We have learned this lesson from our parents, who threatened to punish us if we showed too much hate, especially towards them. And from our spiritual leaders, who have warned us that hate will morally poison the hater. Even philosophers and psychoanalysts are not immune to thinking ill of hate. Rebecca West agrees with Freud that hatred necessarily precedes love in human experience, but then assumes that hate is an early error of the mind, which becomes a confirmed habit before reason can disperse it. Most of us learn lessons about hate from our parents, whose value systems we are most likely to imitate and to pass on to our own children. Our family, whose home I visited, seemed like a normal, well-adjusted family with 3 children who were sweet and gracious. One of the children, the oldest, generously offered to bake a cake to celebrate my visit and enlisted the help of her 10-year-old sister. As she was separating the egg yolk from the white, some of the yolk accidentally slipped into the mixing bowl. And with irritation in her voice, she complained, "Oh, I hate when that happens." The 10-year-old promptly chastised her sister, reminding her that she shouldn't have used a 4-letter word. Puzzled, I asked what she meant. With all the fervor of a religious fanatic, she answered that the 4-letter word was hate. Apparently, the rules and values of this family were such that hate was a feeling that was not even allowed verbal articulation. As the simple cake baking exercise showed, hate is going to be present, whether it is permitted or not. As a culture, we have come to believe that hate and all of its manifestations aren't lovable, and that we won't be lovable if we allow them expression. We have been taught to hate our hate.